Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to our second part of Innovation in Social Marketing Media. So happy you could be here today. My name is Jennifer Jacobson. I am with T-Task, and I would like to turn this over to our presenter today, also a member of our team, Emily Thompson, who will be providing today's training for you. So thank you for being here. And with that, Emily, go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Jen. Good morning, everyone. So glad you could join. As Jen said, I will be your presenter today. And just by, in the chat or by show of hands, how many of you, did anyone here come to our part 1 presentation? No? Mark, awesome. Okay, Haley, great. Okay, great. Well, glad to have a couple of you returning. Let me just share my screen and get started here. All right. There we go. Okay, so today is our Innovation in Social Media Marketing Part 2. So if you weren't able to join our Part 1, I did include in here a link to the Part 1 recording as well as the Part 1 presentation. In Part 1, we talked a lot more about the what and the strategies of social media in the prevention field. So I encourage you guys to check that out if you haven't. And then today we're going to talk a lot more about the how, actually going through creating a social media campaign and sharing it. I did also include in here a link to our LMS system. This is where you'll need to sign up or sign in if you already have an account to receive your CEUs. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the meeting as well, or the presentation. All right. So the shift, again, we're talking more today about the how. Previously, we've talked about the what, why social media matters in prevention, what strategies you can use to support visibility and engagement, and challenges that currently exist for prevention professionals and coalitions. Today, as I said, we're going to talk a lot more about the action, the how. So we're going to go through the steps of building an effective social media post, scheduling and managing your content, tracking your results, and how to actively engage with your audience. And as Jen mentioned, please feel free throughout to use the chat to ask any questions. A lot of this is, like I said, going to be hands-on. So I encourage you, even if you want to follow along on your own screen by pulling up your Facebook or Instagram, feel free. And I'll be happy to answer any questions as we go. So recap of part 1, for those of you who weren't able to attend, just some quick bullet points. Social media is really important in the prevention field. It meets people where they are, whether your target audience is the youth of your community, parents, other coalitions, and prevention professionals. You'll see over here 90% of people receive their or keep up with trends and cultural moments on social media. And if I had to guess, I would assume most of you, if not all of you, are active on social media in one way or another and have used that to get news or current events. So it's important to utilize that platform so we can get in front of the right people. The other thing, it's very cost effective, it's scalable. It's a great way to reach out to your audience. And it's an awesome way to reduce stigma, build awareness, and promote connection and conversation around your goals and your message. The core phases that we talked about in part 1 was understanding your audience, developing a clear roadmap of the social media content you want to share, creating content that resonates, trying, tracking, and learning, and then refining based on your results. So some of this is going to be covered in today's session as well. Part 1 was just a lot more in depth and kind of big picture. So again, I encourage you to check that out if you haven't. And then challenges that prevention professionals currently face. I'm sure a lot of you guys, this probably resonates with you, having limited time and resources, navigating public perception and stigma, and constantly adapting to platform changes. Specifically Facebook and Instagram, things are always changing in terms of how they work. So going through this step by step today should help you have a good understanding of how you can get started. So, with the content creation flow, really creating content and social media posts, it's great to think of this as a loop. It's not a one time process, it's something that you can continue to go through and improve upon every time you post. So, the key phases are brainstorming, so actually generating the ideas that you'd like to post about, creating between developing graphics, videos, captions, actually scheduling or posting your content. Today, we're going to talk a lot about Meta Business Suite and Facebook and Instagram specifically. Engaging with your audience, keeping people engaged, keeping them coming back for future posts, and then measuring your campaigns. What worked, what can you continue to improve on for your future campaigns? So phase one with brainstorming, this can often be the hardest part for people is actually getting started, knowing what to post about, when to post about it. So I've included some helpful tips here to help you get started, help avoid some of that analysis paralysis. Great options for posting awareness months and days, tapping into national and state observances. For example, this month we have Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, we have Recovery Month. Tapping into those awareness days and months gives you a really great place to start. Local and community events, this is going to be really important for you. You guys all have an idea of what's going on locally, what's important to your community. It's great to highlight that to, again, create more engagement with your local audience. Utilizing seasonal topics. So right now we're kind of in the back to school time. Focusing on that, summer safety, prom and graduation season, the holiday season. Utilizing these seasonal topics is a great way to resonate with people and what they're going through currently. Using educational themes, posting about risk and protective factors, mental health resources, parenting tips, again, depending on what your target audience is, thinking about what kind of educational tools and resources they're looking for. And then I did also just include some helpful links for inspiration down here. A lot of toolkits are already available from SAMHSA, the CDC, Mental Health America, Connecticut Clearinghouse. So I've included some links. Even looking at SAMHSA, for example, if you haven't ever checked out their toolkits, they have them broken down by month based on the specific awarenesses. So this is a really great place to start, even for September. If you check into any of these toolkits, they have some really great tools you can use. Even just to get started, they provide some graphics and actual social media captions that you can simply copy and paste. In my part one presentation, I talked a lot about using a different mix of types of social media posts. So not every single social media post has to be created from scratch. A lot of times for even T-Task, when I do post things like infographics or fact sheets that have already been created by resources that we use, we get a lot of engagement on those. So you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. It's about using a lot of resources that are available to you already as well. So again, feel free to check out those. I did also, this is a great PDF that one of our attendees from part one included. It's just a simple PDF that, again, is broken down by month with the specific awarenesses. It also includes national holidays. So that's a great place to get started for you too. And Connecticut Clearinghouse, you can actually subscribe to their newsletter if you haven't already. That's a great way to just keep it top of mind. You'll get an email when their toolkits are available. So I highly recommend that as well. The first step, really what I like to focus on is using a content calendar. Again, as I talked about, utilizing or, staying organized on what to post and when can feel really overwhelming. And a lot of times people put it on the back burner because of that. I talked about this in part one as well, and included some additional resources, but today I'm going to talk specifically about the tool that I personally use. I use it not only for T-Task, but for some of my other clients as well. And I've linked a sample in here, so you can actually click on this. And this will bring you to the sample content calendar that I use. I encourage you to use this. The only important thing with this is please make a copy before editing the template. If you do use this, you'll just go into File, Make Copy, and then you'll have your own personal version that you own, and you can feel free to edit it as much as you'd like. So feel free to use this. I'll even just show you an example of what ours looks like. So this is how I use it personally. I always share or save a blank template. And every single month, I just go in and create a new template for the month. You can see for T-Task specifically, we use some themes to help us every week to stay consistent. So Motivation Monday, posting motivational content or information. Stay Tuned Tuesday, where we post specifically about things going on with T-Task, upcoming trainings, updates on the website. Wellness Wednesday, Thinking Thursday, where we try to ask a question or use a poll to engage our audience. And then Flyer Friday, where we talk specifically about other local events going on in the community. So this is just an example of how you can kind of use a theme weekly, every other day, a couple times a week to just try and help you stay consistent and organized. As you can see in here, I actually go through and I highlight each topic. So, at the end of the previous month or beginning of the month, I sit down, I try to come up with an overall theme for the month. So we've got Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and then also Recovery Month. So you'll see a mixture of that content in here, where I then talk about the topic I want to discuss, create the caption and save it in here. I also include links to any resources I'm going to use and any links to the designs that I've created. So this is just to kind of give you an idea of how you can use this tool. This tool is also really helpful if you are working with a team. I've included some options in here for notes. So if any of your team members want to collaborate, if it's been approved, if it's been published, all of that can be documented on here. So whether you're just posting individually or for your coalition and working with a team, this is a great resource to use for that. Again, it really helps you stay organized, consistent, helps you find a balance between awareness days, events, and just local content going on, local initiatives that you want to post about. Reduces that last minute, what should I post today? It really, things can get busy through the day. So if you have it already planned out, it's a great way to just stay on track of that. All right. So next is actually creating the content. So once you've brainstormed what you want to post about, you've got your content calendar either built out or started, we're going to talk about actually turning those ideas into content. So a couple of tips for effective content creation. Keep your captions engaging. Again, most of you are probably on social media in some sort of fashion. So take a look at the social media posts that you engage with. What sticks out to you about the captions? What is what's really grabbing your attention there? So making the post actionable, we'll talk about including links to resources, asking questions, encouraging shares, using concise, impactful text, keeping things clear for the end user. The recommendation is using 3 to 5 relevant hashtags. Studies have actually been done recently that anything over 5 hashtags can start to seem a little bit spammy. So just a recommendation to use 3 to 5 relevant hashtags. And then we'll talk about tagging partners or collaborators to get more eyes on your content and get more engagement there. Also important to use high quality visuals. So, clear images, clear videos, nothing blurry. Again, I'm sure you've all seen blurry images on social media before, and you're probably going to scroll past it a lot faster. So making sure you're using high quality content, a mixture of formats, whether it's static photos, graphics you've created, short videos, stories, reels. You can really use a mixture of this. And a lot of this is going to come into play with when we're measuring the success of your campaign. You'll want to just take a look and see what is your audience mostly engaging with. If they like the photos more than videos, you can post more photos. If they're engaging more with videos, which a lot of people are these days, you'll have a clear indication of that maybe being the format that you should focus on a little bit more. And then brand consistency. So sticking to a color scheme, sticking to specific fonts, using your logo, especially if you are a part of an organization or a coalition, this really helps build brand awareness. It also helps build authority with your content. So tools for actually creating captions. I've linked a couple of tools down here. To be honest, you can write the captions by yourself. A lot of those are going to resonate the best. Actually using your own language, using your own ideas, writing those captions. But I did include some AI tools in here as well. It can be helpful, especially when you have a lot of other things going on your plate. Using AI to help you um, speed up the process and streamline the process can be really helpful. A couple of things with AI. You always want to make sure that you check the AI captions for accuracy and sensitivity. ChatGPT is a very popular platform that a lot of people are using these days. I will say that it is not always accurate. Some of the information is outdated, some of the links they provide are broken. So it's very important to just make sure that you're reviewing that content and that it is actually in line with your message and utilizing that sensitive, non stigmatizing language. Also, adding your personal touch. Again, you know what is going to resonate with your community more than AI does. So, using these tools is great, but always making sure that you are also putting your own personal touch on it. So, a couple of these tools, they are linked in here again. They are free. They're great tools to use. And let me just kind of show you. So, the first one is Hootsuite. This one is specifically for creating captions for social media. This is a great tool. You can do it by network. So, whether you're doing Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, you can actually select the network that you'd like to post on. You can select the style of the language as well, whether you want to do educational, friendly, inspirational. This is a nice tool because it does include different languages as well. So, for example, if you do have a prominent Spanish community in your area, this is a great way to create not only an English caption, but a Spanish caption as well. And in here, you can just type exactly what you'd like to post about. So, for example, write a social media caption. The more detailed you get in the description, obviously, the more it's going to help you with the caption. You do also need to include keywords in here. So once you have that all filled out, you can actually just generate the caption and it'll give you some ideas here. It'll include some hashtags for you, some emojis. You have a few different ones to take a look through. So that's just a really quick and easy way. If you're struggling, know what you want to post about, but you don't know exactly how you want to word it, this is a great free tool to use. Another tool that I really like that I did also include in here is Content Studio. This is a great tool because you'll see over here, you can do a few different things with this. You can write a social media post caption. You can improve content that you've already written, summarize a text. So if you actually just copy and paste content into here or include a URL, it will also summarize. So if you have an article and you need some help just pulling out the key details of that article, this is a place where you can utilize that or even rewrite a caption that you've already written, just get some help. So I wrote a prompt in here already just for sake of time. One of the posts that we want to post about is post graduation and transitioning into life after graduation, whether it's after college graduation, high school graduation going into college, or college graduation going into seeking your first job. So I just wrote in here, please write a social media caption about transitioning to life after graduation, whether it's high school or college, and mention these resources provided by ct.gov that can be useful for parents, new college students, or job seekers. So this was a resource that I came across on ct.gov that I wanted to highlight for our audience that has a lot of great tips and tools, again, for students, for job seekers, and can also be used for parents of those students and adults as well. What's nice with this, you can actually adjust how many words you want it to be. So if you want it to be a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, we'll go with 61 words. Again, you can select the tone. So whether informative, optimistic, you can select whether you want it to generate hashtags for you and include emojis or not. And the other nice thing with this, you can select the number of variations you want. So this one just has a little bit more capability than the Hootsuite one. If we generate, you'll see it comes up with a few great captions that you can use, based on the tone of voice that we chose. It includes those hashtags and also includes some emojis for you. So once you take a look through here and you kind of decide which one you want to use, you can then just simply go ahead and copy it, and you can put it right into your calendar. All right. Any questions about those caption tools at all so far? Any questions on anything else? Okay, awesome. So again, these are just a couple of tools that you can use. They're tools that I've used, but always remembering to keep your personal voice. It's not necessary to use AI if you feel confident in writing your own captions, but these can definitely help streamline things for you. I did also include in here, we went a lot more in depth about this in our part one. So again, I encourage you to check that out. But I did include just some quick tips about making sure you're using recovery friendly reporting in your captions, using person first, non stigmatizing, medically accurate language, making sure that you're using images that reflect realism and hope, not stereotypes. Focus on messaging on recovery and social functioning, not just addiction, for example. And then always making sure you're including links to important resources. If you are posting about suicide prevention awareness, including resources like 988 in the caption is important as well. I did also link to the presentation that goes a little bit more in depth about this too. One thing that I mentioned is actually making the captions engaging and including links in the caption. So, what's nice about Facebook is you can actually include links directly in the caption itself that is clickable. You cannot do that on Instagram. So, a great tool to use if you've never used it before is Linktree. By show of hands or just in the chat, has anyone ever seen? I'm sure you've probably seen on social media. Have you seen Linktree in the bio, or people write in the caption, check the link in our bio for more information? Awesome. So this is a very common tool that people use. There's a free version, there's a paid version as well. The free version can do pretty much everything that you need. What you'll do is, I did link this in the presentation as well. You can just set up um, a quick account on Linktree. And from here, you can actually save all of your links in one place. So this is actually our T-Task Linktree that you'll find in our Instagram bio. What's nice about this is as soon as you add a link in here, so if I want to just pull that link for my caption, I can actually just paste it in here. And that will get added right to your Linktree. What I recommend with this is keeping it organized. So you'll see as we go through mine, I do create collections based on the month. So all of our September 2025 links, our August links, and you'll see as you scroll down here, it keeps it really nice and organized for people to be able to find what they're looking for. So if you do create that link and you want to create a collection, you can just add a collection in here. For example, if we had October 2025 links coming up, you can add that collection and then just add links to that as you go. To add the link, you can just then drag and drop it into the collection. So again, this is a nice way in your caption to either say, click the link in our bio. It does also give you a very short link. So if you wanted to include this link directly in your caption, you could do that as well. The other nice thing is it will actually create a QR code. So, for example, if you have an event coming up or you're doing a promotional flyer, you can actually use this QR code and send people directly to your link tree where you have all of your relevant links. So again, this is really helpful for sharing registrations, event flyers, fact sheets. You can update the links really easily without constantly having to update the link in your bio. That link can stay the same. As soon as you update a link in your link tree, it will automatically be updated there. And it's a great way to just continuously drive traffic either to your website or resources you've created. Again, just a couple of best practices. Keep it clean and organized. Using those collections is a great way to keep it organized. Using short, clear labels so people know exactly what the link is about. And then just updating your links regularly. It's very easy to just keep adding links and then things get a little bit hard to keep track of. So that is kind of everything for creating captions. So we're going to jump into creating the visuals. This can be really fun. You can get really creative with it. Again, if you're not feeling quite as creative, check out those toolkits. A lot of the toolkits already come with pre-made graphics. But today I'm going to talk about a couple of tools for creating visuals. The most popular one, the one that I use pretty much across the board, is Canva. Using the chat, is anyone here? Do they use Canva? Do you have a Canva account? Are you familiar with it at all? Okay, awesome. Got couple people who use Canva. Again, it's a really great tool to use. There is a free version. There is also a paid version. Great, we've got a lot of people using it. So it is a very popular tool. If you don't use the paid version is $120 a year. This isn't an ad. I'm not sponsored by Canva, but it is a very powerful tool. And the paid version does have a lot more than the free version. If you are just using the free version, still a great tool. It has a lot of drag and drop design options, offers you templates. So just to give you kind of a quick run through, again, in the chat really quick, does anyone here use the paid version or are you mostly using the free version? Okay, awesome. So most people are using the paid version. Just a couple of quick tools since you are mostly familiar with it. A couple of things if you haven't utilized yet. When I go on here, I mostly just search for the templates that are already created. So, for example, if we want to create an image for our social media post that we're drafting, I liked this design here. You can customize the template. Again, I know most of you are familiar, so I won't spend too much time on this. But a couple of tools that I use, if you haven't already in the paid version, you can set up something called a brand kit. This is where you can actually, over here, set up your brand. If you haven't already, I set up a brand for each of the clients that I work with. You can upload the different versions of your logo, your color palette, any specific fonts that you want to use consistently. I highly recommend doing that. It makes it very easy when you're creating content moving forward. So that then when you are in here creating the template and you click on brand, all of your content is in here very quick and accessible for you. So just adding this in here, for example. The other thing that I use a lot that I'm sure some of you are familiar with, but if not, the background remover. This is a great tool. I am highlighting resources from ct.gov. So I want to add their logo as well. So what I actually did was just go onto their website, take a quick screenshot of their logo. You can then upload it into Canva. And this is a great option. You can keep the blue background, or I like to a lot of times use that background remover. So if you haven't used that before, again, it's a great tool to, if you are just taking a screenshot, you can remove the background, add it to your template, and then adjust it as necessary. I like to just play around with these templates, update it to match our brand a little bit more. Using the images, you can even update the background image. So, for example, we're doing some tools for graduation, post graduation. Again, some of this may be redundant, but just a couple of quick ways that you can use the current templates that they have and adjust it to match your own, getting rid of any content that isn't relevant for you. And then updating the text as needed. So, for example, we can do resources and tools. I always recommend putting your website on every graphic, again, as well as your logo. This is a great way to just keep that consistency, build that brand awareness. Another great tool in here, if you don't play around with it, is the transparency. You can make them a little bit more transparent, less, again, kind of get creative and have fun with these tools. Most of these templates, you can change just about anything on here that you'd like to. All right. Any questions on any Canva tools that you haven't used or that you've been interested in using and want to know a little bit more about? The other tool that is a little bit newer here, I'm not sure if anyone has used this yet, but is the Canva AI. This is a great tool for creating graphics and videos as well. This is a great tool specifically for videos. So, for example, if I wanted to do a video with my social media post, you could even do type this in and say something like create a video showing students at graduation and post graduation. So we'll give that a minute to generate and come back to that. But this is a great tool to actually create those videos for you from AI, especially if you do have the paid version. The other tool that I included in here is CapCut. Has anyone ever used CapCut before? Or are you familiar with CapCut? Okay, awesome. A couple of people have used CapCut as well. So this is a great tool, free version. This is more specifically for video editing, excuse me. This is great for creating TikToks and Reels. It includes a lot of templates and transitions where you can add captions. It also includes the option to do voiceovers. So, if you wanted to add a voiceover to a video, but you didn't want to personally use your own voice, you can actually go in here and add voiceovers. You can add music to it as well. So, this, if you go into CapCut, for example, and you wanted to create a new video, actually, if you go in here and you do AI captions, this is where you can either upload a video and it will generate captions, or again, you can also go in here and actually do a voiceover here as well, where you can either type out the script or have it create a script for you. This is a great way to create those voiceovers. If you use this brainstorm with AI tool, it's a great way to do that. So if we wanted to do create a short video promoting suicide prevention awareness month. So here is where you can actually choose the topic or generate more. So if we wanted to pick, understanding the importance, you can then actually go ahead and generate a script. You can add more details. For example, include resources like 988. And you can select the time or the length. Then it will actually create a script for you. While that's loading, I'll just jump back over to this video here that we just created in Canva. So you can see just a short prompt, and it just created a great video that we can use alongside our social media content. You can also, once you click on here, if you want to edit it in Canva, this is where you can then go in, add your logo if you'd like to, add any captions to the video. So in a matter of seconds, we just created a great customized video for our social media post. Getting back into CapCut really quick here, you can see it just drafted up a script for me. So this is, again, where you really want to fact check, any stats that are included in here. You can pick and choose which topics you'd like to use or which sections you'd like to use. You can see it did include 988 down here, just like I asked it to. And then this is where you can also either add an avatar or you can add a voiceover. It's pretty cool. They have a lot of different voiceovers you can choose from. So if you wanted to just create a voiceover, you don't want to use your own voice, but you want some voiceover with that, you can actually just select someone. You can preview the voice, make sure that it's something that you like. Um, from there, if you want to add any elements like text, you can add that to the video. If you want to add any music, you can add that as well. So this is a great tool that you can kind of play around with. Once you have the script and you're happy with it, you can go into the media as well. Here's where you can generate AI media. So you can either use a realistic film, you have different kind of ideas that you can use through here, or you can actually upload your own media as well if you have some images that you want to use. But we'll just let that generate really quickly as well. And again, just kind of give you a crash course in CapCut. What's also nice about CapCut is they do have a lot of templates. So you could actually search into here, suicide prevention awareness. Let's see. One did pull up for me yesterday. So we'll just do, for example, let's just type in awareness and see what pops up there. Okay. So here you go. You can see there's a lot of different templates already in here that you can utilize. If you find a template that you like, for example, you can click on it. You can change out any of the media, any of the script. So it's a really great tool to use in here. That media is still generating. So we'll give that a little bit of time. But again, those are just a couple of great tools for you to use. What's nice with Canva too, if you are using this is a great place where you can actually copy the link. If you go into share and do anyone with the link, you can actually copy that. And that is exactly what you can then drop into your content planning calendar. So again, if you're collaborating with a team, they can take a look at that and they have access to those. All right. So best practices, again, using high quality, clean, consistent content, avoiding clutter, keeping your text simple, using overlays, clear calls to action, and then using captions if you are using videos. A lot of people do watch videos with the sound off these days. So it's always a great recommendation to use captions. I did include a screen in here just with the platform specific specifications. So the pixels that you'll want for each specific platform, whether it's photo or video. The other nice thing about Canva, if you haven't used this before, is the resize feature, where, if you have a square image and you want to resize it into an Instagram post, you can actually just copy and resize it directly. And that will give you the same post just with the correct sizing. Right. So once we've actually created our content, we have our caption, we have our graphic or our video. Now it's time to actually schedule and post. Today, we're going to talk specifically about Meta Business Suite. This is free for Facebook and Instagram with either a professional page or a business page. It's a really powerful tool. It allows you to manage both Facebook and Instagram in one dashboard. You can schedule posts ahead of time, so you don't have to post the day of. If you want to sit down at the beginning of the month and schedule all of your posts at once, you can do that. You can access the analytics to understand what posts are performing well. Most importantly, it's free to use. This is only available for either a professional account or a business page. Has anyone in here ever used Meta Business Suite, or do you currently use it either for a business page or a professional account? Okay, one person saying they haven't used it. Awesome. So going through this with Meta Business Suite, like I said, it does need to either be used with a business page. So that, for example, would be your coalition page or your organization page. So for example, our T-Task page, this is a business page. If you create a business page, your Meta Business Suite will automatically be created. The other option, if you are an individual posting on your own, I highly recommend you can actually turn your personal page into a professional page. So if you actually go onto your personal Facebook page, I just have a dummy account that I'm using for this presentation. You can actually click on these three dots here and turn it into a professional page. A couple of things to be aware of with the professional page. If you do turn it into a professional page, anyone will be able to add you or follow you. You will no longer get the friend requests. So it's important to understand your information won't be fully private. You can hide your contact information, but if this is something you want to start doing regularly, I do recommend the professional mode because it does give you a version of the Meta Business Suite as well. So a lot of these tools that I'm going to talk about, if you turn on the professional mode, it will give you the analytics to see what posts are working for you. It will allow you to publish and schedule posts as well. If you are just using the typical personal Facebook page, you won't have access to these tools. Still awesome to just be posting on social media in general, but if you're looking for access to these tools, you will either need to turn your Facebook into a professional page or use a business page or a coalition page. Okay. So with the business page or professional page, again, it gives you a lot more options for actually scheduling and posting your content. One of the biggest things that I like about it is it allows you to select active times. As you start to post more, it's going to actually tell you when your community is most active or when your following is most active. So, for example, if you are going to post and you are in your Meta Business Suite, you can just click right over here. This is really where you're going to find most of your tools in here. So, I'm going to actually walk you through creating a post via Meta Business Suite. If we go ahead and create a post, you can upload a photo. So let me actually just download the design that we created. Once that's downloaded, you can actually upload it here, or you can upload your video that you've created. Here is where you can actually add your caption in there. So if we pull up the caption, you can copy and paste it in there. Again, on Facebook, you can include a link directly to the source that you are citing, or you can again use that Linktree link if you'd like something shorter. We'll just add that in here. This is another great option. I highly recommend if you are using resources from something like ct.gov or SAMHSA, you can actually tag them directly in here. So if you use either the @ sign, you can see it will actually start to pull up the page that you'd like to mention. This will actually tag them in it, helps get a little bit more engagement and hopefully some more clicks on your post as well. It will also notify them that you tagged them in the post and gives them the option to share the post as well if they'd like. If you're ever looking for how to tag them, I recommend just going to their website. Usually you can click on one of these icons. You'll see exactly if this loads. Okay, usually this will pop up and you'll be able to see down here in the corner what their Facebook name actually is. So it's CTDCS, DCF. So if we go back in here and we want to tag them, you will see it actually pops up right there. And that is how it'll tag them. It'll let them know that you are using their content. Okay. So in here, the other great option is your scheduling option. If you select scheduling, here is where you'll be able to actually see active time. So we can see when our following is most active. So today, if I want to post, my following on the T-Task page is most active at 7 p.m. You can also schedule it, or you don't have to schedule it. You can post it right away. But this is a great tool to see when the users that follow you or follow your business page are most active. You can also use the option to share it to your story. So a lot of people utilize stories these days. That is a great place for you to be able to actually share the content directly to your story as well. And once you click schedule, this will pop up. This is an option for paid advertising, which we'll talk about in a minute. But from there, you will be able to see any of your past content here in the planner option. You'll also be able to see any of your scheduled or future content. So even if you didn't want to use something like this, you could actually schedule out all of your content in Facebook and quickly and easily click through, see what content has been posted when. All right. So those are a couple of different options that you can use or tools that you can use when posting into Meta Business Suite. Any questions on any of those tools at all? All right. The next thing is engaging. So again, making sure that you're engaging with your followers, either responding to comments and messages quickly, showing that your audience that you care about their feedback, inviting people to like your page, encouraging your coworkers to share your posts. If we go into Facebook here, an option that I highly recommend if you haven't done this already, if you are working with a coalition, one thing I always do, or a business page, is you can actually go in here, click on these three dots here, and invite people to connect. This gives you the option to invite all of your friends to actually like the page. It's a really great way to grow following on your business page. If you haven't liked our page already, I highly recommend you go in there and like it. You can follow along. You can see all of the content that we post moving forward. Another great way to drive engagement is creating polls. Now, creating polls is only available on the mobile app. So if you are actually posting on the mobile app for both Facebook and Instagram, you cannot do it from desktop. But I'll just show you a quick example here. If I show you my screen real quick. For example, if we go in and create a post on the mobile version here, you can see, I know it's a little bit hard to see here, but in this drop down, when you're actually just creating a post, you can click on poll. Have any of you guys ever seen polls in captions before or interacted with polls either on social media or excuse me, Facebook or Instagram? Awesome. So when you're doing it on mobile, that's where you can actually ask the question, include your options for the poll itself. And this is a great way to just drum up some extra engagement with your social media posts as well. The last thing that we really want to focus on is actually measuring the success of your campaign, seeing what works and what doesn't. This is another really powerful tool in the Meta Business Suite, which again, I go a lot more in depth in our part one, but I just wanted to show you how to actually access that in your Meta Business Suite. You will only have access to insights if you are using a business page or if you have turned your personal page into a professional page. So again, another reason why I recommend utilizing that professional option, even if you are just an individual. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see your insights. This is a really great way to understand what's working for you. It'll show your most recent week. You can view your insights. You can actually look at it based on whether you're a business or a creator. Here is where you can actually click through these. It'll show you a lot of information. The biggest ones that you'll want to take a look at are the views, the amount of views that you're getting. So you can actually see we've had a really nice increase in views from our non-followers, which means that we're getting new traffic to our website, or I'm sorry, to our Facebook page. Our reach is going up, meaning we're getting in front of more people on Facebook. You can check your interactions. Interactions include comments on your posts or likes on your posts. And then you can also check your follows. So unfortunately, we did actually lose one follower, which happens. You know, as you gain followers, some people will delete their account or choose to unfollow you. It's again a really great way to understand, is my content engaging? Is it helping to get in front of people? So this is where you can kind of take a look. If you also look through your results here, this tab is really great because you can actually look on a specific time frame. So if you want to look at the last 90 days, the last 6 months, you can look at the last year. It gives you a really good big picture of how your content is performing here. The other powerful one down here is actually the content. So you can see per post how many people it reached, how many interactions, either likes or reactions that you got. So again, a really powerful tool to use these insights to understand, okay, did I post a video? Did the video get more interaction than this static graphic? The last thing is paid advertising. So I know we're getting short on time. I'll just go through this pretty quickly. But with paid advertising, this is a great option through Meta Business as well. This is only something you can use with a professional page or a business page. If you are interested in paid advertising, you can click into Ads Manager here. And when you go into actually, let me go into ads here. You can actually create an ad. There's a couple of really great options in here based on what you're looking to accomplish. They do have automated ads. This is actually going to be going away soon. So I would focus on using one of these other ones here, whether you're looking to get more messages, you are looking to drive more traffic to your website, get more phone calls. You can really choose which one is what you're looking to accomplish with your ad. Another option is boosting your Facebook content. This is actually just putting some money behind your current Facebook content and getting in front of people who don't already follow you on Instagram. So if you wanted to boost something, say for example, we wanted to boost our post about our Parents Guide to Opioid Use Prevention. You can go ahead in here. All you need to do is just hook up a credit card in here. But what you can do is it will actually pull the content from your post. It'll also create a couple of different versions for you. So this is really nice way to test out what version worked better with the ad. The most important thing down here is you can determine who you are targeting. So the most important thing you'll have to adjust in here is your audience. What's really nice with this is you can select the age range that you want to target. So if you're looking to target youth, you can only target people 18 plus. But if you're looking to target that younger demographic, or maybe you're looking to target more of the parents' age, you can adjust this accordingly. You can select men or women. And the biggest thing is the location. So, for example, if we wanted to target Connecticut specifically, you can actually type that in. You can target the whole state. You can target your community specifically. If we wanted to target a community specifically, you can actually select the mile radius. So you have full control over where people are located and when they are going to see this ad. Again, I do talk a lot more about this in our part 1 as well. So feel free to check that out if you want some more information. Here is where you can adjust the amount of days that it is going to run for, the amount of time that you're going to, or I'm sorry, the amount of money that you're going to spend. What's really nice is it will give you an idea of how many people you can reach. So you can really take a look at that budget. Obviously, this is a pretty high budget. I usually recommend starting smaller, anywhere from $20 to $50 in total. So, even like $5 a day, $6 a day, that's still going to get you in front of around almost 6,000 people per day. So you can see how powerful these social media ads can be. Awesome. I know I kind of went to the end there, so I apologize about that. I could go even longer on this stuff, but I want to open it up to any questions for anyone regarding what we've covered today. Awesome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, and if I missed it, just your thoughts on, is it too much to, so we've heard like just some feedback from some of the coordinators that they don't want to constantly promote the same message on social media, thinking people would get bored of the content if they've already seen it. Just your thoughts on, or is it better like to see the same message multiple times so it like sort of sinks in?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a balance, right? You don't want to just be posting about the same thing every single day, but I
Yeah.
think that's where you can use some of the different tools or even come up with a weekly theme. A lot of times T-Task in the same month, we will post about the same content, but it's either separated by a couple of days or a week. We use different graphics, different captions. So to answer your question, I think it's definitely still beneficial to post about the same thing multiple times, but using some of those themes or using
Mm,
other resources like SAMHSA graphics, SAMHSA captions can kind of help break things up between
mm.
your personalized message and then just sharing other resources that are out there as well can give you kind of a good mix so that you don't feel like you're exhausting one topic with your audience.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, awesome. I know we're right at the time. So if anyone else has a question, please feel free. Otherwise, I will be sending out some follow-up materials. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to me individually, specific coalition or questions that regard to you specifically. I'd be more than happy to answer those.
All right, I'm going to stop recording now.
Awesome.